agility can have, if you Google the word agility, can have all kinds of offshoots, right? Mental agility, physical, self-awareness, dealing with people. Like agility can go pretty deep. Well, all this is doing is improving that constantly if we do it. Here's my biggest ahas from the high six call. And as a result, here's the ideas I'm jumping on. It's kind of setting a little bit of pace, if you will, for the community when we do that. Let's see. Leads for Thursday, I hit. Rick, I want to go to your, I want to ask everyone for, not everyone, I want to ask whoever wants to volunteer, your biggest ahas from Rick's Y training, if you were there. Because I got a ton of good feedback on my nightly accountabilities. So I want to hear from you guys, what'd you get for ahas or action items from Rick's and the coach's Y training Thursday night? It was this last Thursday, right, Rick? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Who wants to comment on that? Who was on the Y training? Judy.
So I had done my Y with you previously and had tweaked it, with my business plan and stuff. And for me, it was keeping it in front of me all the time. Like it's in a document, so I don't have it every day. So for me, that was a big thing. Like, I did all the work to get to that point, but I need it there reminding me so that's kind of like my North Star every day. Like, just do one more, just push yourself a little bit more. You're going to get there.
That's interesting because I have a comment later, but let me give you a piece of it now. That's also like, well, it does a few things. It's building a discipline and a habit because you have it in front of you, right? Number one. Number two, you're kind of flushing out all the other crap that happens in the day, right? In a sense, by looking at that every day, you're flushing out, and I'll give you some stats later, but you all know it's scary how much stuff we're exposed to without even knowing it. That's a good way of immersing yourself and not get rid of it, but offsetting it. Cool. Thank you. So there's an aha in an action item. Steve, how about you?
Yeah, my aha was it takes time to get it to the point where it makes sense to you, and it starts off sounding silly at first, but if you keep at it, it really does solidify, and that is so crucial. I've got to keep at it. I've got one. It's getting better every time I do it.
So yours is more of like a lot of the mindset stuff, a reminder.
Yeah.
A reset. Good. So it sounds like you might want to, everyone, based on what Steve said, have once you have your why, let's just say Rick reviewed it. Maybe 90 or 120 days in, you probably have some tweaks. Have one of the other coaches or myself review it. Just to get a different perspective on it. And your perspective probably changed in 120 days. Robert.
Yeah, so mine, just a refresher to remind you of your why you're doing this. Always got to keep it in front of you. I used to have a vision board on my wall in front of me every day. So when I got onto the computer, I'd look at that first and go over it. Since I moved, the vision board came down. I got rid of it. I was going to make a new one this year, and I haven't. So that's one of the things I'm going to be doing, when I have some time, is to create another vision board so I can put it in front of me every day. And and like you say, your why always changes. Ours changed. I did my why a couple of years ago, and it's changed a little bit, but the outcome is still pretty much the same. But and I also started reading Start With Why. So I got that book and I started reading it. It was a great mastermind call. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, the feedback was awesome, and that book's a must if you haven't read it yet. It's kind of a once a year redo, in my opinion. The replay was put into ARC. I think it was already put in of this. If you missed it, I got so much good feedback. I told Kelsey, and I think they already put it into ARC. Rusty might know the mod. It's a mindset mod, actually, right? Rusty, must be.
Yeah. There's no numbers as far as mods, but there's
titles. So look under the mindset mod, guys. If you haven't, here, what I would think, I don't want to fill out your form for you, right? I want you to make it like matter to you, but I would think the idea is worth doing. The PDF that you're going to fill out, I would think if you didn't get on that Y training, that's one of them. Like a rewatch of that's not long. It's a mastermind call length. Rick Murato, sorry.
Sorry, I'm in the middle of a fever right now.
Get better.
Yeah, I was taken back by the don't just do it once. It's updatable. It's a living document. Has to be updated, has to be revisited. And yeah, when I did it, I just did it and I put it aside. I haven't honestly looked at it again. It's in the back of my mind. And I need to pull that thing out and have it in front of me and put it so it's visible and revisit it and update it. And that was like, oh, I had no idea that was going to be such a game changer, because yeah, you're right. Things change.
Yeah, a thought on that. I'm just thinking things as you guys do this, and please ask questions if you have questions. But a thought on that I still to this day will do is take pieces of that and put it on. For me, it's an index card, but whatever for you. The index card can be on your dashboard. The index card can be against your computer on a sticky. The index card can be in your pocket. So every day, if you have a wallet or something in your pocket, you're looking at it twice when you put it in and take it out. Like, have reminders everywhere, not just a document that you have to go to, in my opinion. Take pieces of that and plant clues places. You're just like, instead of getting sabotaged all day with the crap that gets thrown at you with the media and everything else that you don't even realize, now you're just putting all these things in place for yourself to kind of beat that up and offset it. Avi.
Yeah, one thing that Rick spoke about was going deeper on your why, not just being superficial. He gave his example was this Rick Appiati, just to be clear. He gave the example of wanting to leave his W-2, but then, so why did you want to leave your W-2? Because of his commute. Well, why? Like, it just kept drilling deeper. And I've got so I have like a general idea of my why, but I got to drill deeper.
Yeah. Okay. So let's use that for an example. And Rick, please, it was your training if you have any questions, comments. But Rick is one of probably, I don't know, we've been at this for 12 years. So let me just say, in the last year, there's probably been a dozen people who have said to me, yep, my number one goal is to leave my W-2, but their actions didn't match that. I'm telling you right now. And I don't know if some of those are on here or not. You only know that. But I can tell you the actions didn't match it. Rick just put it in play and his action matched it. Probably one of the many pieces of why that happened for him is what we're talking about right now, for sure. I'll give you an example. I just sent you guys the President's Club video. There's some definitiveness, there's some aggressiveness, there's some stuff that'll go on in that little private group. It's gonna be 3 or 4 people that some of you need. And yet I might not, or I may hear from you. So these little things add up, they stack. Rusty.
No, it's similar to Avi's, which is we're moving from the surface level why to the more emotional, right? You're making it emotional, right? Where it almost maybe brings you to tears, you know? So that kind of caught me. It's like, yeah, I left my W-2, blah, 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 whatever. But you got to, like Avi said, you got to dig deeper and it's got to become emotional at some point.
Yeah, because this is about experiences, right? That's kind of what you're doing there. You're pre-creating experiences if you do it right. Jeremiah. And then we'll go to the next topic.
So for me, I do need to revisit my why. I've done an exercise to get it written down, but I definitely realized I need it again is because in the last few weeks I've hit some mental blocks and things where I'm just like, it's like barriers to moving forward, and I think it's a mindset issue, and so now I understand more why I need the why, because if I don't have a really strong why, then those are going to stop me. So yeah. You guys know the old saying, the how becomes easy with a strong why. The how sucks when you don't have a strong why, because it's an easy excuse to go the other way. That's everybody, and that's entrepreneurship. It's not easy. No one ever said it was. And add to that the real estate changes. It's never going to be easy, but that's why the upside's so big.
Chris, kind of add to that from another perspective. And we really went into this with Chairman's Club. One of the Chairman's Club meetings that we had was when you have your why, identify what's stopping you, identify the roadblocks, and put a plan in place to overcome those roadblocks.
One by one, right?
Yep.
Isolate them. Yep. And for some of you guys, if it's just a little extra exposure, that's what I'm talking about with one-on-ones. I wrote 3 names down just doing this. If whatever it's going to take, you just got to pull what's going to move you, what's going to be the new mover that moves you. It's not the same for everybody. Let me ask you guys from a payday standpoint, Sandra and Dave Albin, what are the 3 paydays for the deals you guys are about to pop? I'm curious.
Ours was 53, although we have taken so long to close, it's probably going to be 49.
49-ish if it doesn't go further, right? Because you own it sub too. And Dave, how about you?
Mine's an AO, so the
Oh.
total is like 36,000, but we
Oh,
split
woohoo.
60-40, so it's like 22-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood for me.
Not a bad little paycheck then for an AO, right?
Nope.
I love it. Okay, I was just curious, and I don't know why I said that during the why, but I just was. So replays in ARC, for those of you that did not, raise your hand if you did not get to Rick's training for whatever reason last week. Just raise your regular hand. Okay, so there's a handful of you guys. Go in there and grab it. Okay, I just was saying something about exposure and offsetting it, and then I'm just looking at my iPad for stats. So let's do this. I wrote this down this morning. Over the next, I just use 36 months, but you can use whatever you want. That's 1,095 days, okay? 36 months. So you have 1,095 chances, is what I wrote in my notes, for a 5-minute even, or a 3-minute morning routine. 1,095 chance at bat for a morning routine that can offset the fact that we all have about 50,000 thoughts if you Google this a day, and 80% of those are negative. Some of the stats that Tony Robbins gives out are even worse than that. I kept a conservative one. 50,000 thoughts, whether you consciously or subconsciously, and 80% of that is negative. So one of a bunch of hacks that we just talked about directly and indirectly would be that. 2-3 minutes in the morning. For me, I was here this morning at, I don't know what time it was, 5:30. No one's here, obviously, that early. To someone's point, I think it was someone about walking, Douglas. So I have a routine, whether I'm here or at home. It does include visualization. It's minutes. It's not hours. So just think about that. Maybe that's one of your ideas worth doing. I don't know, but think about that so you can offset the things that are going on for all of us, whether we know it or not. Because all this does is improve all these areas, mainly mindset maybe for some of us, but that leads to other stuff. And the word that came to mind when I was brainstorming with Kim over the weekend was agility. She was reading something about real estate and the fact that you have to be always thinking about agility, because agility means a bunch of stuff. It means adapting, right? And as far as real estate, and that's what we do in creative real estate, which is really cool. But agility can have, if you Google the word agility, can have all kinds of offshoots, right? Mental agility, physical, self-awareness, dealing with people. Like agility can go pretty deep. Well, all this is doing is improving that constantly. If we do it, if we engage in it. Make sense?